Previously, I showed you how to build a working prototype of Mech, but let's be honest, it didn't look great.
What the f is this piece of...
Now, it's time to turn that prototype into something real. But of course, making Mech look awesome comes with its own set of challenges, even by breaking some functionality. If you haven't watched my previous video yet, go check it out. I'll explain all the basics methods there. So, what's the biggest challenge? Unfortunately, it's the Clockwork itself. Since it's still in development, it can sometimes be buggy, sometimes behave in unexpected ways. Hence, designing a beautiful mech isn't just about imagination, it's also about working within the limitation of the add-on. But don't worry, let me share some secrets on how to avoid common bugs and make your mech look as good as possible. So, the best thing you can do before starting your build is to decide what type of leg your mech will have. It can be humanoid legs, standard human-like legs with knees and feet, just like my mech, reverse joint legs inspired by birds or raptors like chicken, stilt legs long with hydraulic supports for extra stability, or even quadrupedal legs, four-legged designed for more balance and power, and so on and on. It's completely up to you, from design to functionality, but once you decide, you need to build a prototype. Test it, make it sure it actually works, and don't forget you can fine-tune the leg physics by adjusting both gyroscope's rotation force and the leg's rotation force. You can also tweak the time interval to speed up or slow down how quickly the legs change the direction. Here's some advice. Try to keep each attached part of the leg as light as possible, otherwise your legs might start doing this.
The Optimum Pride! Fucking inang yan, Optimum Pride!
So let's see how we can achieve this. You might have noticed that I'm using a strange block while building the prototype. This is a copycat block. What it actually does is take the texture of another block and apply it to itself. It also comes with a bunch of other blocks like the slab, stairs, vertical stairs, fence, wall, and etc. It's great mod that helps add more detail to your builds. But there is another reason that I use the copycat block. You see, when you install Clockwork, every block gets a mass value, which determines how it behaves as a physics object. And, as I mentioned before, we want to avoid using heavy blocks, but the problem is that most blocks suitable for Mech are actually quite heavy. For example, the first block that probably came to your mind when you're designing a Mech is iron. But did you know an iron block weighed around 8,000 kilograms? Or maybe you thought of using netherite, which weighed 90,000? What? I didn't even know about it. In that case, you can just apply these blocks to a copycat block. It keeps the right texture while only weighing 1 kilogram, which is huge difference, and that's great. Yes, maybe there is a config file where you can change the block weight, but personally I see that as cheating, so I didn't even bother trying it. In the end, so it's up to you. Of course, there are blocks that weigh less than 1000 kg, but they are all wood blocks, so I didn't use them. After all, I'm building a mech, not an ant. But you know what? Let me just... I'm just procrastinating at this point. So, next tip. And the next tip, try to make each mech part as hollow as possible. This will help reduce the weight significantly. And yeah, that's it. For example, in my mech, the first bone of the leg is completely hollow. Okay, let's assume you finished the legs and now working on the mech's body. You might notice that your mech's body is falling because it's too heavy and gyroscope adds the rotational blocks can handle the weight. So what can we do? We could add another gyroscope to the base, but then we run into the same issue we discovered in the previous video. It won't able to turn as intended.
I'm free! I'm free! Dang it!
And the solution is... we just need to turn off the gyroscope at the base while turning. But now your mech can completely fall over if you try to turn.
The optimum price.
Why does every solution always lead to another problem?
Oh, I'm free! I'm free! Oh. Dang it!
To fix this, you can add a second gyroscope at the base, but with less rotation force. This way, when the main gyroscope turns off, it will still provide some level of stabilization while allowing the mech to turn. And we did it! Now we can turn easily without falling. Or maybe if your mech has enough space, you could add the second set of rotation blocks. Let me test it right now. It didn't work at all. Let's forget about it. You saw nothing. Now, let me show my mech in detail. For the design, I used the Create Design Decor add-on, which has a lot of cool blocks and decorative elements. I decided to go with humanoid legs, and while adjusting them I accidentally got these goofy movements, but I loved it, so I kept it that way. For the control room, I simply placed my Lincoln controller on a lectern. Here you can see all of my redstone mechanics and the rotation block, which is hidden inside. Then I added weapons using another mod called Big Cannons, which is absolutely awesome. I didn't have enough time to implement the big cannons, which would have been great, but for now I went with autocannons. And about propellers on the back. I wanted the mech to walk faster without changing its walking style, so I added them. I implemented them the same way as walking forward. That's all. I've shown you all the tricks that I know, and as always, I hope you enjoyed it and that you build something even better. Subscribe for more crazy builds, and thanks for watching. Also, I want to give a shout out to my first subscribers. Yeah, you are the best. See you soon.